Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my good friend Adam Kosloff, who is a content writer and helps business owners get those great ideas down onto paper and turn them into newsletters and blogs and other content. So Adam, tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, first, thanks for having me on, Kristen. I'm excited to do this and I'm happy to help you guys. So my business is, I'm a content writer. I run a company called Virtuoso Content, and our goal is to create content that people can really be proud of. And we want to do this in a way that prevents them from having to do much work at all. So our goal, I've written something like 50,000 pages for the web and about 300 books. And my goal is to create a system to create people's content so that they are happy with it and they don't have to think about it.
Awesome. That's what we need as business owners, someone to help come behind and get us to get it all together. So we are in honor of National Tune-Up Day, having a tune up your business conversation. And we are talking about tuning up your blogs and newsletters. And I wanted to bring you on to share with us some great tips on how they can freshen up what maybe they've already been doing for a while, or if they're just getting started, how to come at it with some great ideas and some fresh vibrancy. You ready to give us some tips?
Let's roll. So I think the very first thing you want to do before you get into tactics is figure out, why are you doing this? What's the purpose? Whether you're writing a blog or a newsletter or website content, there has to be some bigger goal you have for your business, for your life, for your brand. What is that, right? Next step is you want to kind of figure out your standards. So like, how is this going to work? And the best way I know how to do this is, you imagine handing the whole thing over to somebody else, an assistant, somebody you don't know. What would you tell this person to do? What would you tell this person not to do? So you want to have this, and write that list down. Those are your standards, and that will allow you to kind of measure your progress against these kind of things. So, you want to make sure it comes within budget. You want to make sure it hits a certain tone. All those things are important. You want to write those things down. Otherwise, you'll feel stressed about it later. Then you want to come up with kind of what this is going to look like when it's done. And think about if it's going to be wildly successful. Like, what would that look like if it's really great, Would you get a lot of new clients? Would you just feel good and help the world? Whatever it is, write that down. Then you want to prioritize. Only after you've done these first 3 steps should you be analytical and think prioritization. What comes first? What comes second? Finally, you want to start taking action. You got to just go. Planning is important, but like, plans change. And so you have to start getting, having momentum, which I'm sure Kristen has told you about before. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tactical. What do we do for
Let's hit some tactics. Okay. A bunch of these are going to maybe not be unexpected. Let me see. So first thing is, there's the 20 rule. So the idea is, whenever you're brainstorming something creative for a blog or whatever, you want to go 20 ideas deep. So let's say you want to write a blog about, some newsletter idea. Don't just come up with 2 or 3 newsletter ideas. Come up with 20. And the reason this is a little tiring, but what will happen is the first few will be obvious. And by the time you get to 17 and 18, you're gonna have some really interesting stuff deep in the well that you didn't expect. And that's where the magic is. Next thing is, you wanna go to unrelated fields and things that you're passionate about. So if you're like a lawyer, I do like 60% of my clients are attorneys. The rest are all over the map. But the idea is, like, let's say you're doing like a workers' compensation blog. Well, why don't you pull something in from astronomy or from politics or from nutrition? Same, if you're doing like you're a coaching person, why don't you pull in some ideas from like pets? So the idea is, like, stuff that you're interested in, you're reading about, use that to kind of create the blog. It'll make it personal and it'll be fun. It'll be very difficult to duplicate. It'll give you a competitive advantage. Next, you want to go to consistency over time. You want to make sure you're trying to, whether you're blogging or writing a newsletter or anything consistent, you want to keep it up, because that will help you build momentum. This is a huge big one, which is, you want to be personal and admit weaknesses. In the vernacular, this is called non-damaging admissions, right? Like, my product sucks because of this, or like, I really made a mistake because of this. Now, you don't want to do this in a way that will actually damage your relationship with people, but you want to show that you're human. And that actually, it's like a car wreck. You gotta watch, like, why is this person telling me that their business isn't working? And it makes you sound human. I mean, you are human, but it'll make you seem more authentic and connect with people. And it's a good way to be honest with audiences. Next, you want to share the love. So there's a lot of people out there who are doing things that you're doing, who are, and even competitors. You can shine your content on their good stuff. So maybe there's someone in an adjacent field, you want to, like, hey, I heard a podcast, it's amazing, go check them out. Because they'll find that, they'll hear that link, and they'll be like, wow, this person just gave me love for no reason. Even competitors, like maybe a competitor, amazing article that you think would be really good for your audience to hear. So send them over there. Like, there's no reason that, you can say, hey, we still want you to shop with us, but go check these people out. This is a really good thing that you should read. Be, of the mind of first you, then me. First, serve your customers like they're your family or they're your friends, and then they'll reward you. And then finally, do more of what works. So if you find that some listicles are really getting a lot of traffic for you, do more of those. If you find that like your newsletter on like, some kind of personal revelation you've had, or, disclosure is really getting people to care about you and connect, do more of it. Measure it, but just try and figure out what's working. And then lastly, I'm happy to, I think Kristen's going to be able to offer a link. I've written a little short report about how to find creative ways into your blogging and newsletter writing. So you can check those out and they'll really help you brainstorm if you ever get stuck.
Awesome. Yeah. Adam, I've been sitting here typing as you're talking. This is great stuff. And yes, I would be absolutely happy to share with everyone. I should have everyone's email addresses, and I will share with them your extra ways to be creative and refresh their content. This is one of those things where it's like, we understand all this stuff. I hear it all, but sometimes it's in the doing, and sometimes it's really getting personal and looking at stuff. What can people do? I think for a lot of people, they've never worked with a content writer. What's like the first step? How do they get involved? How do they get started?
Well, I recommend, if you're all stuck, and even if you're thinking of doing it yourself or using an internal team or using someone else, like, hook up with me. I can do a 1 hour session with you. It's like $50, a very small, like, introductory session. We will go over your whole strategy, and I'll help you figure out, not only will I help you, I can help you come up with ideas for your blog or newsletter. I'm happy to do that, but I can also help you find efficiencies. So if you're like, hey, I really want to do this myself, but I've been stuck before. I keep getting, I've tried and I failed, or I've hired people before, it hasn't worked out. I will work with you and I'll help you find efficiencies so that doesn't happen.
Awesome.
I've done tens of millions of words of writing for the internet, and I've seen every possible scenario. So no matter what you're facing, I can help you figure out content-wise, just the content piece, what to do so you get it done the right way and within your budget, and in a way that will make you feel good about it.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm ready to sign up. No, it's one of those things that I know, being a busy business owner, that sometimes you mean well, but when you have it on your calendar, when it's scheduled, you have a set time, you have a person to, talk with, someone that's going to be a sounding board and help you fine tune those ideas. It helps it all gather momentum and make sure the project comes together. So that's an incredible offer. And yes, I will include that in with your link of how they can connect with you, because I think it's taking those first steps and getting some ideas down and really getting clear on what you're going to build. Then sitting down and doing it is so much easier.
Right. And sometimes some people may not even need content. We may have a conversation. You're like, you know what? I don't want to be blogging. And that might be okay. It's like, whatever. They have a lot of resources through you to build their business. And the idea is to build a business that you feel like this is your business. It's like what you want to do. You control the rules. And so people like Kristen and I are here to help and facilitate to make sure that you get it done the right way, the way you want it. So awesome.
So Adam, any final suggestions to them on how to get started on refreshing?
You got to just get in there. I mean, part of it is like the doing is the thing. So once you start to do it, it builds its own momentum and leads to a virtuous cycle. Even if you do it the wrong way, a wrong step is better than no step. So just get in there, watch Kristen's videos, listen. She knows what she's doing. She's amazing. So, you're in good hands. And I would just say, just keep going.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Adam, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure the audience appreciates it as well. And I will share all that content or all that information with them. Thank you again for being here and for helping us tune up our businesses.
Thanks. I'm happy to be there. Thanks.
Thanks.